Hello, hello. What's going on, everyone? Welcome into episode 10. We've reached double digits here on Connected by Seams podcast. Once again, Seth Smith here with my lovely partners, Danny Espinoza and
Lovely
Smith. Hey, you know,
partner, I'm your brother, bro.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
get things straight here. Your older brother.
That's right. As mentioned in the pilot, stole all my milk growing up. Garrett outweighs me by about 94 pounds. But I got heart, baby. I got heart. But here we are,
Easy,
episode 10. We are back. We're ready to give you our highs and lows. Our, the feedback on Twitter was just crazy. We got no answers just yet.
I was just gonna say, wait, what?
We're feuding. We are feuding over what we are going to call it. There was that much feedback on Twitter.
Awesome.
So yeah, we're gonna keep the people waiting. Probably another week on that. We'll see. But here we are. We're back. This is another good one. One that we was a little bit outside of our comfort zone. But G, I know you started last week. Danny, if you want to start this week, what your highs and lows were, man.
Oh, highs. Got to take the kids fishing out at the ranch. Got to shoot a little bit more, get rid of some prairie dogs out on the farm. And then I would say the low was leaving. That was probably my low, was having to leave the ranch and come home. I was like,
leaving the ranch or knowing you had a 10-hour drive?
10-hour drive when we did all right on that one. Kids slept. We kind of did pretty good on that one. It was more of the fact that I had to pack my stuff, had to go think of going home to California. I didn't want to go back to California.
Do you have to plan that out, like with the kids asleep? You like keep them up all that, wake them up super early so that they're out?
My wife's got them sleep trained. So when 8 o'clock comes, like,
see ya.
Yeah, peace.
Yeah, nice.
That's awesome.
G,
what about you, G?
All right, so my high is I got a drone. I should say I got an updated drone. I bit the bullet. I went out and got a new one, flew it over so we left the beach house the end of last week, but got to fly it out on the beach, got some cool little videos of the fam. It was actually pretty rad.
Cool.
On that same note, I don't know if you guys noticed, but August is in like 3 days. And summer's basically done at this point. And I don't like that at all. That's my downer. That's my big downer.
Yeah. Well, I'll just piggyback right off of that.
I'll ruin the podcast right now.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. I'll just hop right on that bandwagon of that was going to be my low too, of just realizing and coming back home like, shit, back to reality, man. Like being at the beach was so rad. Doing all that stuff was super cool. But let's see, highs. Man, this was a pretty boring week for me. Hate to be that guy, but literally just came home and went right back to work. I had, since, I got fortunate with some days off, but it was right back to the restaurant grind, trying to, someone's got to work around here. So
slang them wangs.
I had to slang them wangs, and that was about it. Honestly, I've had today off. Today is my day off. I have tomorrow off. So we're just a couple hours early on maybe my highs of the week, but that's all right. We're still new to this, so we'll get it figured out. But again, we are back, double digit, episode 10 now. We caught up with the creator and developer of Stone Natural Medicine, Devin Stone. Really cool for us. I mean, shoot, this is a little bit out of our comfort zone, as mentioned, something that, maybe we are active, lifestyle, healthy, trying to eat that, but stem cell and really diving into it is not necessarily my forte. But it's something that is very intriguing for sure.
Yeah, very cool for him to talk about the supplements and stuff, and to understand that, supplements, not everyone needs the same supplements. We all need different stuff, to get the test. And that, I think Garrett asked a really cool question, about where, supplements different from the other. And the answer he gave, I was kind of shocked by. So hopefully you guys will hear it soon in the interview.
Yeah, and Seth, just to jump in, you don't supplement? You don't lift, bro? You look
It's
like a
it's the shirts.
Oh, that's what it is.
Triple
Yeah.
XL.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep.
No, to piggyback on what both of you guys are saying, it was out of our comfort zone, but it wasn't, and it shouldn't be. Like
No.
supplementation it's something that I think is overlooked by a lot of people in the
agree.
world and society. And I mean, his input and his information, it clicked. A lot of it clicked and makes sense, and it's a really good product. So I'm excited for everybody to hear it, and hopefully, take some of that knowledge into their everyday life.
We'll send it to the interview with creator and developer of Stone Natural Medicine, Devin Stone. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome into today's episode of Connected by Seams podcast. Today, we welcome our guest, the creator and developer of Stone Natural Medicine, Devin Stone. Devin, how are you? Thanks for joining the show.
I'm good. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me on. And I look forward to kind of getting into a conversation here with you guys.
Yeah, that's exactly kind of what we want. Just a casual conversation, get to know you. Like we kind of just touched on before the show here. It's just a little bit out of maybe our comfort zone of knowing exactly the medical side of things. And for me, that makes it that much more intriguing and exciting to get to know you. So before we dive into the medicine stuff, why don't we just go ahead and start? You're a local guy like us. Seems to be a common trend here on the show, but you yourself also from Pasadena, just a little north than us in Orange County. You're out there in LA County. But with that being such a popular place, what was that like growing up a little bit in Pasadena?
Cool. Yeah. I mean, definitely was interesting for sure growing up in Los Angeles area. I mean, as you grow up there, you don't really realize you're just a kid, so it's kind of where you are. But I have to say, kind of looking back on it now, very glad I was able to do so, just being around such like a multicultural city with so much to offer. I think really helped me kind of, one, by staying there, kind of build my professional career afterwards, and just opened me up to a lot of different people and different ideas, which I think kind of helped build who I am today in many ways. So.
You mentioned professional career. Was that early on in your age that you were kind of figuring out you wanted to get into the medical field? Was there family background, or kind of how did you kind of get that start? Because it's such a long process, how do you, what age were you around?
Cool. Yeah. So I did things a little bit backwards in the medical field in terms of I helped start a medical practice that I co-own today and then went back to medical school, which I'm currently in as of today. The reason why that kind of happened was in my undergrad, I did a lot of research, and then I did a master's in stem cell medicine that I got really, really into in terms of mostly looking at how to regenerate joints. Worked a lot with different like athletes and just like kind of your people out abusing their body, rock climbers, mountain bikers, all these kind of people, and did a lot of research with stem cells to help regenerate these joints. So when I kind of got deep into that, it was kind of newer field at the time. I actually went overseas to the Netherlands to be able to study because a lot of federal funding here in the United States was completely dismissed. And so I found a school in the Netherlands that was still hugely progressing this field at the time. So went over there, learned that, and just due to kind of the knowledge that I got there, was able to open a practice with a physician in Los Angeles that we started in 2009, and brought in a lot of these kind of cellular practices that we were researching and figuring out was legal, what's allowed here, and was kind of doing that. And then throughout that process, I always wanted to become a physician myself, but just kind of got stuck in the business career for about 10 years. I'm kind of building models of kind of science that I was learning, like I was saying, but then eventually just like, hey, I want to go back and really fulfill what I want to do, as well as I was building those practices, learned a lot of things in medicine that I just felt like are so wrong today, that even more so made me want to go back to be a doctor, to be able to hopefully help give some better ways of healing to people that I think is just super needed today.
Now, where were you at in the Netherlands? I've traveled there before, and what a great place to visit. I had a great time while I was there. Just, I mean, the culture, the history there, everything about it. I really, really enjoyed myself. Where were you at?
Cool. Yeah, it's a city called Utrecht. It's like 30 minutes outside, about 30 minutes or so outside of Amsterdam by train.
Okay.
So little, I mean, as little as it can be, but a college city, really completely built around the university for the most part. But yeah, super fun time being able to go to school over there for a while, and especially with Europe being so small, like on weekends was always trying to get somewhere else as well at the same time. So yeah,
I was supposed to go there, actually. I was supposed to go to Amsterdam, not to your city.
Not for school?
But not for school, no, for fun. The day after Trump closed everything.
Oh, man.
So March 11th, he closed it, and I was supposed to leave March 12th. I was so bummed. I want to go back or go over there.
What I have a question on stem cell, I've invested into a group. What stem cell company are you a part of?
Yeah, so I own a practice called Metro MD, where we do mostly just like applied work, so not really working with like cells and banks or anything.
Okay.
We mostly harvest bone marrow and isolate cells from there and use those afterwards for orthopedic or musculoskeletal injuries afterwards to really regenerate there.
Very cool. That's very cool.
Yeah, definitely fun field, and definitely drove me a lot to like where I am today. Because I have to say, where I am today is really heavily involved in kind of the natural wellness space. And biggest reason was, I mean, for years I was just researching stem cell stuff, and I mean, all these projects that I was either working with or labs next to me, we were trying to fix these huge diseases that people had: diabetes, Alzheimer's, and just honestly, when we kind of step back and look at it, a lot of these people, why they were coming in to hopefully reverse things with stem cells. I mean, most of them just lived a lifestyle for decades that kind of just threw their body out of whack, got them sick, got them to where they were. And it just kind of just like dawned on me. It's like, why are we spending hundreds of thousands to millions on each one of these research projects to fix problems that kind of, sad to say, but people are doing to themselves? I mean, they might not know that they're doing it to or why they're doing it to themselves, but end of the day, really was kind of more lifestyle driven, diet driven, exercise driven. And that's what made me really kind of start stepping away and be like, okay, I want to kind of dive into some modalities of medicine where we could actually fix people and prevent things from happening, and hopefully stir up the pot a little bit with all this problem we have in healthcare today. So that's kind of what drove me at least into where I am more so as of today. I'm still work a lot with stem cells, but kind of opened me up even further.
That's awesome.
Seth, I'm getting off track a little bit, but for
no
Devin,
track.
I want let's say 10, 15, 20 years ago, stem cells, I mean, it's always been talked about, but it was always such a no-go. And now you see it everywhere, and it's used in all professional sports now. Like, what, in your opinion, what's changed, and what's that evolution been like in with your practice and going forward?
Cool. Yeah, good question. I would say, just like what you said, you see a lot more of it coming up. Just like the last 5 years, even, it's been an explosion of clinics kind of around the United States, especially doing it. The sad part is a lot of people are claiming they do stem cell treatments, but aren't actually doing stem cell treatments. What that means is there's a lot of companies now selling what's called like cord blood products or amniotic products, which are kind of leftover remnants after a mother gives birth from the placenta. They're extracting stuff from there. And there are some regenerative properties to them, but there really are no live stem cells when you look into what's left and how they could sell it. So there's a lot of clinics out there now using these products because they're cheap. They're not that cheap, but you buy them, you inject them into a patient, 5 minutes, you do a procedure, and these doctors are charging, thousands of dollars. However, it's really not the most ethical how it's being done right now in that way. It's honestly pretty improper, but a lot of people are doing it that way. That's like what they're claiming, that they're doing these so-called stem cell treatments, but in actuality, they're not. Really, the only way that is legal here in the United States is if you're taking it from bone marrow or fat and transferring it over, which comes from you, the patient themselves, or there are a couple of like cancers that we can work with that are FDA approved, and there are like stem cells you buy, but that's something that's like in a hospital setting. But With that said, though, in terms of it kind of like blowing up recently, I think just more and more people, it kind of ties back into what I was talking about earlier. They're tired of kind of the conventional healthcare system. I mean, if you have a bad knee, typically you get a cortisone shot, which, yeah, you get rid of pain, but then it gets worse afterwards. Exactly.
It deteriorates.
And then eventually it deteriorates so much, and now your option is surgery. Let's remove what was in there to begin with. So, and that's where I really think people are now just really, really tired of kind of that model. So I think it's the same thing I was talking about, why I kind of went into natural medicine. I think it's the same thing with stem cells too. People are looking, hey, how do I actually fix things back to how it should be? And stem cells luckily are one of the big answers in that field right now.
That's cool.
You mentioned over time you began to notice these things. Was it something that really took some time and, you know, some noticing, or was it something kind of right away you're like, this is a little strange that we're doing here?
I mean, I think there was always a little bit of like that light bulb going off, but it was definitely something that I think is just seeing the amount of patients coming into our clinics, or when I was doing my master's, like our program was directly in the hospital that we were doing stem cell stuff right with the physicians. So I think it was just constantly seeing people come in and just seeing that kind of repetitive pattern of what kind of their demographic was, and kind of what their health history was and all of that. And just seeing these patterns, you start to realize, okay, there's something's up here. It's not just there's this crazy disease, we need to figure something out that only stem cells could answer, but it's honestly something more basic often. And I think that was primarily the reason. I would say also myself though too, I'm really into kind of like biohacking or whatever you'd call it as of today, and just kind of helping myself better myself. So I think that's also something I've just noticed the more I kind of dive into it on my own personal level, kind of the healthier, better I feel as I get older as well. So I think just the personal side as well is a huge testimony to like at least my own personal beliefs of what I'm doing right now.
Cool.
Yeah, you talk about some of this stuff kind of being, you know, the people putting themselves in that situation. You talk a little bit about athletes and the rock climbers and things like that. Was there anything common trend, any common trends, anything like that you were finding in those particular athletes?
For sure. I would say the athletes would be like a little bit different population than what I was kind of talking about. So there's like the people that were coming in that just live these not very healthy lifestyles that were just degenerating, breaking down, and now they're looking for, hey, what's the quick fix once again, like we're so keen to do. And then there's the athletic population. Unfortunately, these are just people that just put their body to the test and break it down over time. The weekend warriors that you're not going to stop them. They're going to keep doing it. I mean, their knee hurts. They're going to run another 100 miles. And that's just, this is what happens. And I mean, from my end though, those are like the perfect people to work with though as well, because they're not having all these other comorbidities that you're trying to inject like a stem cell into their body and regenerate areas. It's someone that's healthy to begin with. They just have something small, minor that they wore down. So their body just responds a lot better to these types of treatments. So for them, they're usually pretty good at the lifestyle health portion, but yeah, they just like to take it to the next step often. So,
well, that's
where we try to get them to hold them.
That's a cool example of you mentioning that's like your favorite kind of person to work with. Have you had a moment or a patient, someone that you've just seen something drastic happen or take place?
Oh, significantly. Just time and time after again. I mean, the orthopedic side, it's cool because I mean you get people moving better, all of that. But some projects that I was working on when I was overseas, we were utilizing some cells and doing like IVs and actually helping to regenerate heart tissues. And there were some labs that I was working with that actually completely regrew like a liver for a patient in a lab with stem cells and transplanted it back.
Wow!
To them.
How long does something like that take?
That took them, I think, almost like 18 months to complete that whole project, and like well over $1 million of funding behind it. But I mean, and this was in 2013 when I was there doing this. So, I mean, what's even happening now, like going on a decade later, is probably beyond what I could even think. Because when I walked in there, my very first like couple days, like it just don't even feel real. Some of the stuff that's going on when you see like literal living, growing body parts that people are creating in laboratories.
It's like a science fiction movie.
Totally. Exactly.
That's crazy.
Well, as I mean, you mentioned, Metro MD, and then comes along Stone Natural Medicine. If I had to guess, it's probably been a 10+ year in the making and branding type situation for you. Now it is completely blown up. You guys continue to grow. The company with over 10,000 followers on Instagram, your personal account with over 22,000. I mean, is this something that you ever thought or imagined when you just kind of began and kind of ran with an idea, and it's got to be quite rewarding of a process here?
Totally, yeah. I would say it's something I definitely was not expecting fully. I mean, obviously, it's something I wanted to achieve by creating a business. I didn't want it to flop end of the day. So, I mean, my goal was to get that direction. Strategy. But yeah, exactly. But I would have to say, I mean, it definitely has taken off and keeps kind of growing, especially this last year to 2 years, just so much more and quicker. And I think it's just because the way we drive our marketing campaigns is really around information and knowledge. We really don't like to put out information like, hey, here's a sale, come buy one bottle because the next one's free type of thing. All of our campaigns are driven around kind of what I was mentioning earlier, is these lifestyle pieces, these diet pieces, these exercise, how healthy your mind is, all these types of pieces. And we really drag people into our brand to have loyalty based on that. And then we kind of sell products. And I think that's what's really helped our brand grow so well, is people just find it very valuable in terms of information that they're kind of instilling into their daily lives then. And with that said, the nice part is we sell products on the side, and the products that we do sell kind of go right back into what they're looking for, is just enhancing their life as well.
Yeah, from what I can, what I can see or read from your guys' company is that this is, like you're saying, it's a complete lifestyle change from the eating to the dieting to what you guys sell. I mean, this is a dedication of a lifestyle, which it's tough to do. It really is. I mean, even having been a professional athlete for 13 years or so, it's tough to buy into that lifestyle because of the amount of effort it takes, whether it's cooking, whether it's, all your vitamins, all whatever it is, it's tough. But what you guys are promoting is awesome, because you're giving people a platform to be healthier, an idea of how to do it. Because I could say forever, I want to be healthier. I don't really know exactly how to be healthier. I could try to eat, smaller portions. I could try to take my vitamins every day. But to be honest, I mean, that's not what I was, I didn't go to school for this. That wasn't, I wasn't my major in school. So, to have you guys have that platform and to show stuff, is pretty cool to see that when I went on your guys' site.
Cool. Thanks for endorsing that. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. And I mean, even myself, I'm finishing my doctorate now, going into this and stuff every single day. I'm still learning, oh wow, there's this ingredient in this, or there's this toxin in this shampoo that could potentially do something. Or, I mean, it's just constant, learning all these little pieces that could help better yourself. And I think end of the day, like you said, it is hard, but it's just making one or small changes to begin with. I mean, no one should ever be expected to, hey, drop everything and you have to be 100% perfect starting tomorrow. But it's if you change one meal during the week, or meditate once a week, or something like that. It's those little things that do compound eventually, and you just kind of keep getting better and better. And I really think that's the message also that we just try to portray to everyone.
Very cool.
Well, you mentioned trying to, in the process of getting your doctorate, how the heck do you run a small business that just continues to grow every day? The challenges of being that small business owner on top of the medical school, trying to get your doctorate. Talk about the challenges and rewarding factors of that as well. That's, if I had to guess, a tremendous amount to try and balance.
For sure. Definitely can be stressful here and there with everything. But I have to say, I think it is more just finding my purpose at this point in life, which just kind of keeps me going. And I think that makes it that much easier, because when I wake up and do these things that I'm doing, I I want to do it. Like, end of the day, like, yeah, it's not fun all the time, sometimes studying at night or whatever, but ultimately when I reflect on why I'm here and what I'm doing, the purpose aspect behind it just kind of keeps driving me. I have to say also, besides that, I read a book quite a few years ago called Traction by Gino Wickman, which is actually a business related book, which is kind of an operating system type of book that is related to businesses. And that's something I've tailored all of my businesses around in terms of how they operate. And it really kind of breaks things down into how you're looking at your business quarterly, annually, or 3-year, 10-year type of plan. And that same type of plan, I actually incorporated that into my life as well, which I think keeps things very organized for me as well, because I kind of know like tasks that are at hand that I'm doing weekly, quarterly, monthly, same way I run our business. And I think just that kind of organization aspect is huge as of today. Like, if things aren't written down on my calendar and my task book, like, I have no idea what else is happening in life at times, but it's like, I keep checking those off and know that I'm planned out for a little while. Like, things happen ultimately. So that's
why I have a wife. She always.
I'm married to my theory at this point.
Some of us have to fend for ourselves.
Yeah, I'm not good with writing things down. My wife's always telling me what to do. I'm like, thank God I have her.
Shout out Sarah, that is awesome.
Yeah, shout out to Sarah.
Well, Devin, how about talk about the company slogan, the values and promises. That was one of my favorite things to kind of read on your guys' site, and promoting healthcare and not sick care. I know that's very important to you guys. If you can kind of dive into let us know what that's all about.
Cool, totally, yeah. So the way we kind of operate our business is around that slogan, promoting healthcare, not sick care. And really what that breaks down to is a lot of the conversation that we're having is, especially here in the United States, our healthcare, whatever that may be, is built around what I consider a sick care model. Like, everyone stays sick. I mean, if you see what happens inside of hospitals, knowing how medicine really works, like, we give something that's palliative to help with a symptom that people have, but very, very little do we ever look into what's truly wrong with them or why they are sick to begin with. Good example would be like someone with psoriasis on their skin. I mean, they could be having these reactions on their skin, and conventionally first line of treatment is a steroid that we give them to help get rid of that inflammation. So yes, you're getting rid of that inflammation on the skin, but did you ever look into what was happening to begin with that actually caused that problem? And that's, I mean, just pretty much textbook the way our healthcare system goes. So that's why I call it really sick care, because we keep people sick. And if you want to go into the politics or not of it, I'm not very, I know, I don't talk about those things because, I mean, just everyone has their own opinion, but
it's gotta be frustrating for you, though, the politics side of it.
Hugely, because I mean, especially when you know what is going wrong with someone, and you're typically told, hey, you have 17 minutes with this patient, go in, which gives you the amount of time to ask them 2-3 questions, write them a prescription, and you're out the door. I mean, that's textbook how things go. And I mean, you're never going to find out what the root cause is there. So with our slogan, that's why we wanted to kind of bring it back to true healthcare. Really figuring out how to keep people healthy, how to make them healthy, and just establish that for every single person. So, and with that said, that kind of goes into everything we're promoting, all the lifestyle stuff, all the diet stuff, all the exercise. I mean, some of these things at times can sound fundamentally easy, but that is really what health is all about, is doing those things and living a lifestyle, hopefully without relying on medications, without relying on waking up not feeling great. And sad part is that takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, but it's available, it's doable. Just we need to kind of look back at how health should be addressed.
I mean, from what I got with that, when I first saw your slogan, you know, and your slogan says that, you know, you guys are a healthcare, not sick care. To me, what you promoted is that you guys are proactive, not reactive. like you guys are getting in front of everything. You guys are figuring out what the core is and what the base is, like you were talking about, rather than if you were sick here, you're just reacting to whatever they got sick with and you're going to treat it, move them along. You guys are being proactive, getting in front of it, trying to lead a healthy lifestyle so you don't get to that point, which I think is awesome.
Definitely so. Exactly.
Wow, that was fucking good, Danny.
Well,
that got me fired up. Like, yeah, that was cool.
When I started going through some of the issues I was having, and you know, I had to try to get gluten out of my system. I was trying to get dairy out of my system. I had alopecia, and they said, "Oh, it's stress related." I'm like, "Well, it's not stress related." And then I went to another doctor, and they said, "Well, it probably has to do with your diet." They see it a lot in celiac people that have celiacs. So the fact that we had to go backwards, and you know, I kind of understand what he's saying in the sense of like they're trying to help you before you ever get to that point, which is awesome because when you go through something, it's miserable for your body. But if you can be with something like his product and be in front of it, it's going to help you, I mean, for so much longer, and you're going to feel so much better.
Exactly. And I think for me, that's like sometimes a hurdle as well. Because like you said, ultimately, if you go that route, you are going to feel better. I mean, you're going to be back to good health. But one of the biggest obstacles right now is just everyone is looking for that quick fix right now, which unfortunately this side of medicine, it's not a quick fix. I mean, it is a lifestyle end of the day, but that's what health is. I mean, health is a lifestyle. It's not something you're just going to pop one pill and for the rest of your life live like a king, type of feeling. But with that said, I think once you get that kind of notion across to someone, and sadly, it often takes either people that are just proactively looking for this or someone that is just so sick that they just finally give up and say, hey, I need to do something. And that's when we kind of get across that border. But I wish it was definitely something that just more people could react a little bit quicker and understand this is what needs to be done.
To piggyback off of what Danny was saying and what you were saying before as well, with supplements, you hear a lot of, I've read and heard a lot of people that have mentioned supplements, they're, a waste of time or a waste of money. And if you're eating right and eating healthy, then you should be getting all you need. What's your feedback or response to that, and how do your supplements benefit you more than just getting the nutrients from food related?
For sure. Yeah, that's a great question. So to kind of tie things back, like how this company started was at our practices that we have in Los Angeles area, as we were kind of opening our eyes to everything I was telling you, why people were coming to see us even to begin with, we decided, okay, hey, let's start building this model of kind of true wellness that we were talking about. So we started looking into supplements that we wanted to carry in our practice. And that's really when this whole supplement business started, because we could not find really much of anything that we felt comfortable actually giving our patients. They didn't have the right certificates. They didn't have the right therapeutic dosaging of stuff. And then the big thing that goes into is looking where these supplements come from. So everything that is in the line that we created is all whole food based supplements. So everything is derived from food. Exactly. Wow. So it comes from all organic, natural food sources. So for instance, our vitamin C comes from grapefruits and lemons instead of from the other way that it's synthetically made. It's actually grown on a mold. Which is typically how most vitamin C is actually created. So yeah, most people don't know that, but I mean that's completely true. And with that said, too, when you kind of are making these synthetic versions of the vitamins, they're not really whole versions of the vitamins. They're like a very small piece. For instance, going back to vitamin C, if you ever look at the back of your bottle of most of them, it's just going to say something called ascorbic acid, which is just one molecule piece of actually what vitamin C is. Vitamin C actually is 5 different molecules all attached together that create that. And with that said, if you're not getting all of those together, you're going to be taking it and almost getting no benefit from it. Something even worse is if you look at something like vitamin E, which is similar in the way that it's made synthetically. It's not the complete vitamin E complex. With that said, if you are taking synthetic vitamin E, it could actually promote cancers like breast cancer and testicular cancer, which once again, people often don't know that not only are now they taking a vitamin that's not even doing something for them, they could actually be taking something that's actually making things worse. Exactly.
Wow.
So I think that's the biggest piece why we kind of created this line is, hey, we want to take stuff from food naturally how it should be. We test everything to make sure there's no heavy metals or pesticides or all this other stuff that could even be in there that's not even on the ingredient label as well. And just really making sure we could give something back. When it comes to the second piece, though, that you mentioned was, do people need to even take supplements? And like, I'll be honest with you, like for myself, I don't take very many supplements at all myself, because they're exactly what they're called. They're supplements. They're something that are supposed to supplement what you're missing in your diet. And for me, I mean, I'm just like crazy about food and what it does and all that stuff. So I make sure I eat a pretty good array of foods and I am getting most of the materials that I need. But with that said, most people in the United States eat what we call our SAD diet or our standard American diet, and they're not going to be getting most of the nutrients that are available. So
In-N-Out doesn't have all of it?
They got veggies on the burger.
Check the fine print.
Hey, 7-Eleven, like quick food that doesn't have like good nutrients for you.
The bag of hot Cheetos I had for dinner is not cutting it, I guess. Well, shoot, what is, I mean, your guys' product line, I saw on Instagram again, like 48 new products coming out. You guys have a ton of stuff coming out. I think it was only like 14, but still, if you want to just touch on that real quick as well.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. So when we first started, our first line had 16 SKUs. Yeah, now we did add 14 more. The idea behind that was we're just trying to balance out other areas that people could need supplementation as well. So we created we create all of our products in what we call collections, and they're by color. So if you like looked at the site or if you're in a store that they're at, if you look at a color, you know what they're for. Like for instance, all of our purple labels are gut health products. All of our red labels are cardiovascular heart health products. And with that said, with our new line, we just came out with a couple that help with different hormonal issues. We have a hormone collection now for like thyroid problems and adrenal issues. And then we also came out with a line that is for brain support. So one that's helping with just overall cognition, which is what's called like a nootropic that helps just better brain enhancement. In that brain collection too, there's one for just kind of keeping better mood. So that's kind of would go into like your anxiety disorders and depression. And then
does MCT oil fall into that?
So we do use some MCT oils in some of our products. So like one of our immune products.
I have some in my coffee right now.
Actually. Heck yeah, nice, nice. Do you do the bulletproof blend?
Shoot, I forgot the brand what it was, but it's not the
Good
bulletproof
stuff,
one. No, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
the MCT oil from what I've garnered from putting it in my coffee as well, Garrett, is, man, when I put it in my coffee, I feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like I move through my day pretty good. Even when I drink coffee, it's double espresso in the morning, which is probably not the healthiest thing. But even when I drink it, if I don't have the MCT oil, I definitely feel a difference.
For sure, yeah. No, the MCT is awesome, especially like that coffee blend, that kind of bulletproof, I guess, would be one of the originators for in some ways. But the MCT oil gives you just some nice sustained energy throughout the day. So you get that first coffee caffeine kick, and then things kind of keep going for the rest of your day with MCT. It's awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Pause the first half of the interview with Devin Stone, and pretty cool journey to start there for Devin, as he mentioned in the interview of, he didn't take that maybe normal path that normal people would in the medical field. He kind of did it reverse, figured out a direction, and then ran with it, traveling to the Netherlands and really getting involved in the whole stem cell thing and doing hours and hours of research. It was really cool to kind of hear him dive into that side of things.
Yeah, and I mean, my input I'm going to speak on is not just because I asked the question, but when I brought up why is stem cell so popular now and so much easier to be a part of. And there's the answer, you know, where not a lot of the quote unquote stem cell procedures that are done out there now aren't true stem cells, but also his answer, and they just didn't know enough about it. And it's I think that it's great, and obviously a lot of athletes are doing a lot of great things being able to use stem cells now, and the fact that the everyday person could use it and benefit from it, I think, you know, I could use a lot of it. I'm going to actually look more into doing some of that, because like he was saying, you know, just the wear and tear that the weekend warrior, I rose my hand because it was like, yeah, I am that guy, you know, like I go mountain biking, I work out, I do fitness. Hey, softball, adult softball, that shit gets wild. I'm telling you. But
12-ounce curls.
Yeah, those 12-ounce curls get heavy after a while. But no, I think it's cool, and that the popularity of that medicine is out there. I mean, I've always heard about it, never really thought it was for me, but after talking to him, he's kind of convinced me.
I think it is. I think it's for everybody. From what little I know about stem cells and the company I'm involved with, is that you know, standard science, and you know, like he says, it hasn't progressed. Nothing's really gone anywhere. When you have a knee injury, they go in, they inject it with a steroid like they have for years. Nothing's gone anywhere. You know, and it's not really, you're not being proactive on anything. You're being reactive to an injury. And I think with stem cell, like he said, is that you know, it's not breaking down. They give you a steroid shot and it continues to break down. It gets rid of the pain, and you know, it continues to break down. Where a stem cell can help you out and further your recovery, so you're not having to go in 10 years later or 5 years later and get cut open on a standard surgery and get all fixed up.
I'll echo that, because Danny, how many times in your previous job in the playing, how many times have you seen how many times have you seen you know, a teammate or other players go through that, where it's like, just shoot them up, they'll be fine?
Dude, I went through it plenty of times where, you know, they just shoot you up with a cortisone shot and numbing, and they throw you right back out there. That's just how it was. You know, you wanted to be out there, but also I guess the procedure was to just shoot you up and get you back out there. And
right, yeah.
And it sucked. Yeah, I mean, you know, you could have had stem cell to where stem cell was, you know, that easy to get your hands on to inject it. Obviously, if it's that helpful, you know, and we had it available, we would have done it.
Well, the first part was good. Now enjoy the rest of the interview with Devin Stone. So as we kind of shift back towards the supplements and kind of what you guys offer as a company and as a whole, it's pretty remarkable the things that supplements can do in general. Maybe just talk about what your Stone Natural Medicine can do.
Oh, definitely. So, yeah. So the way we kind of, like I was mentioning, designed everything was to go after really some of the biggest health concerns, I would have to say. And that's why we also just launched 14 new products that are coming out as of this week, is to help kind of fill in the gap of the major areas people need supplementation. So that's once again why we kind of coded everything to help give at least the end user at least an initial idea of, okay, I have a gut problem. Maybe I should be looking at the gut supplements, or I have high cholesterol or heart problems. Maybe I should be looking at the heart collection. So we kind of started there with the way we designed our whole product line, just to give at least some direction, because we felt like that was one thing that is missing as well in the supplement industry. Is you go into, I mean, not that I'm a fan of GNC, but even like somewhere like GNC, that you look at the shelves and it's like, holy shit, what is all this stuff? Like, I mean, you just see bottle after bottle after bottle, and it's like, which one am I even supposed to grab? What does this even do once I put it in my body? I mean, are you going to ask the guy at the front desk that probably just got a pitch from the company and doesn't really know what's going on biochemically in the body? Like, I mean, that's where the supplement industry is. And then that's not even going into, I mean, how bad most supplements are even made. So we just tried to give some direction there by color coding it. From there, then, we as a brand really don't like to give like full recommendations to people, like, hey, which one should I take? Like, that's an answer that we never ever actually give someone directly. The reason behind that is every single person's body is different. So we have a very large network of doctors that we work with that we will actually direct people to if they want to get a more personalized kind of supplementation for themselves. So with that said, like a lot of our doctors, they utilize a blood test called SpectraCell, or there's also one by Genova, which actually breaks down where your nutrient load is in your body. So we're going to look at your vitamins, we're going to look at your minerals, your fats being like your fish oil, your omegas, your all that kind of stuff. And based on that, then we could create now what your body actually needs to supplement and give back. So that's, if someone ever like instant messages us or sends us an email or anything, that's the directionality we direct them into, because we don't want to just give recommendations based on assumption to everyone, because that's really not like what we were talking about, why supplements are even there for. I mean, we don't want someone taking something that's not needed, or, I mean, these things do have effects on your body, could be potentially even not good for yourself. So we just want to make sure that it is all properly aligned with someone, because end of the day, we want to go back to creating that healthcare model for someone. And that's the only way that it could be done so, is if we know exactly what someone needs. On the alternative side, though, we do have a lot of people that kind of come to us and they're already on a supplement or have been using a supplement and just looking for something that's better. And that's a lot of the population too, is once they kind of understand, okay, I've been taking a probiotic for years, I've been taking vitamin C for years, and something I want to continue. But once they understand how one is made versus the other and why, a lot of people change over. And once they do too, they start noticing, I mean, hugely different results as well that's coming from these, when they're actually stuff that works in your body. So
I'm going to be changing my vitamin C supplementation, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, is there, and I know you said that you don't just tell people, hey, let's just take this, but are there certain vitamins or supplements that you guys make or that's out there in the healthcare world, and you can say, hey, these are probably the base of what people should at least be taking a little, you know, whether it's vitamin C, vitamin, like,
general something.
Yeah, a general something. I have to have vitamin D, just because as much as I'm in the sun, I actually wear long sleeves all the time. So I'm deficient in that. So is there something that you could like say, like, hey, these are the ones we should as general use?
For sure. So like I was saying, everything is so individualized. Like, I'm never ever going to be comfortable saying everyone should take this, but in terms of, there's stuff that in the line that most people are prone to needing. I'll put it that way, where like what you just said, vitamin D is a huge one. Like in the world, like 80% of people are deficient in vitamin D.
Wow.
So just with like knowing those type of statistics, it's like, okay, 80% of the people probably coming to my site and stuff most likely will need vitamin D. With that said, though, then we have some of like our major kind of players in our line. Like we have a multivitamin that we just came out with that's just going to give you kind of your basic daily dose of all your vitamins, minerals that you typically should be taking. That's based on the RD, or the registered dietitians registry, based on what you should have daily. Something else that people really consume kind of all the time is like our probiotic blend. Just kind of enhancing the gut biome is something that most people always could benefit from. And then we have like a green powder, which is just like getting all your fruits and vegetables in quickly, which could never hurt as well, type of thing.
I need that.
Those are kind of like our key players that people do. So we made like one of our lines, which is like it's green labels, which we call like our daily health, which kind of fits more into that. Just like, this is something that most people could take every single day for the most part.
Cool.
Well, where are these products available? Where can people go check them out, find it? I know you have a website, if you want to maybe plug that and let people know where this stuff is available.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. So our website is stonenaturals.com. Our Instagram as well is stone.naturals. That all could be found throughout those areas. And then we have all of our new line actually launching as of tomorrow. So everyone that is probably going to be listening to this, that will all be up. So go check that out as well.
Yeah.
So there'll be some cool new stuff that I'm super excited about. We were formulating those for like the last 6 months, and finally at the point where we're kind of pushing it out there. So it'll be pretty cool stuff. So
that's exciting.
Yeah, that's very exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Sweet.
I'm gonna go get some.
Yeah,
I am.
I am 100%.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm gonna run and go get some immediately. I'm gonna run onto my computer.
The website is clean. Everything's been awesome. Working with your team, which for you, probably is so cool, Devin. Something that you've been able to grow, and you mentioned how much marketing and stuff you guys do, and dealing with your interns, and for you, that's got to be pretty rewarding through this journey as well.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, that's how I like to operate in business. Team building is, for me, the most key thing ever. I'm good at what I know, but a lot of people are better at all those other aspects, and kind of being able to do it together. I mean, that's just kind of where we grow in terms of our practices. That's why we were successful over the last almost 12 years. And really, it's finding those key players working together and building a team that turns into almost family end of the day.
Well, I know us three are firm believers in that it starts at the top. So you're doing something right, man. It's been cool talking to you and getting to know all this. I got one more quick one for you as I was doing my homework on you. True or false, Amazon best-selling author?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's awesome.
Regenerate your body.
Very
Look
cool.
into regenerative medicine, correct?
Correct, yeah. We launched that, and we went bestseller, I think, in 3 countries the first 2 weeks we did. No longer there anymore.
Wow.
That is a false now. But when
Wow.
we launched, we held that position for quite some time. So
That's
awesome. Very cool. Congratulations.
Man of many talents. That is so cool, man. Good for you. Anyone, anything else from anyone?
No, I'm pleasure to meet you. Very informative. Like Danny said, I'm gonna hop on. I'm gonna buy some things I know I need. And good luck and continued success in your doctorate and moving forward.
Cool. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun today.
Yeah. Thank you very much for coming on. I had a great time. Learned stuff that I didn't know anything about, and I hope our listeners learn a lot from everything that you talked about. I mean, it's something, this is a field that not many people know much about. So thank you for taking the time to inform us all.
And it's very important. I mean, this is important stuff. This is our health. This is lives. This is valuable stuff. So again, it's much needed and appreciated. Thank you very much. We mentioned it in the interview, but again, a huge social media following, not just for your company, but for you. And again, everyone go check them out. Instagram at stone.naturals, or follow Devin also on his personal account. 22,000 followers. That might be near the top that we've had here on the show. So that's awesome for you, man. But again, you can find him. His handle dstone008. Brand new line. By the time this drops, will already have been out. So no excuse. Go check it out. It's awesome stuff. So again, a pleasure getting to meet you, man. And thanks for taking the time. Good luck with everything moving forward. And we'll talk to you soon.
Sweet. Sounds good, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Devin.
Thanks, Devin.
All right.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya. Well, bam, that concludes the interview with Devin Stone. So cool to get to talk to the actual creator and developer of this medicine, and also get to chat with him about his company's values and promises, and really that tagline of promoting healthcare, not sick care. Danny, you touched on that and brought up a tremendous point in being proactive in that. And I just thought overall it was awesome chat.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say as far on that. It's just, real quick, is they made it pretty simple with their brand of that they're being proactive, not reactive. They're getting in front of all this stuff. They're trying to help you to build a whole lifestyle. Not like he said, have patients come in and be like, all right, what's the next quick fix for the next 2 or 3 years? And so I think it's awesome that they have the supplements. They have a lifestyle that you can get into, that you can be a part of. And like he said, it's a lifestyle. So to have him talk about that, and that they're proactive on everything so you can have a healthy life, I thought that was absolutely awesome to hear.
Yeah, and to jump along that same kind of mindset where, he was saying that when they give advice and they don't just throw them at their product.
Right.
You know, the personal touch to what they want to do, although they don't do their own personal consulting, they point you in the direction to, hey, go get tested, take that time, and then we could set you up with what your body is actually calling for. I think that's awesome, and it runs right along what you were saying. And I liked that he mentioned that he uses his own feedback and experience on his products. And I mean, what better way to know what your product's doing than how your body and what your body is reacting to and responding to. And mentioning I'm gonna do my research on just about everything I freaking put in my body moving forward. Just I didn't realize, it might be a common thing, but you know, I'm kind of dumb in that sense. But vitamin C, synthetic vitamin C, and all that is grown from mold. Yeah, and like
can't be healthy.
I mean, that penicillin comes from mold, right? But like that's not. I'm not looking to, you know, take in a mold or fungi in my vitamin C. That's not what I'm doing. But I thought that was pretty eye-opening. Overall, though, I mean, I really enjoyed talking to that guy. Very knowledgeable and best-selling author. What? That was a little hidden treasure.
Was cool.
That was cool. That was very cool.
Well, there you have it. Episode 10 now in the books. A reminder, join us next week for episode 11. But that does it here for Connected by Seams. Again, I'm Seth Smith. Danny Espinoza, my brother, Garrett Smith. We out. Y'all on the flip side next week, episode 11.
Check everything out. Let's go.
Please subscribe, look us up, rate, review, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everything. Do
it. We suck. I don't care.
Watching. We are watching. Continue the Twitter battle. We need a name.
We need a name. Thanks for everyone not giving their opinion.
Yes, we appreciate the non-feedback.
Everybody's outspoken about everything else.
We appreciate the non-feedback, but if you'd like, we would really appreciate a little bit. But no, awesome. Shout out Kevin Dang, my buddy, making this happen with Devin. So everyone, thank you. Have a good rest of the day.
Kevin.
And we will talk to you later. Catch you on the flip side. We out.
Later.
Peace.